Bob Frohlich, Fisheries Development Supervisor with the North Dakota Game and Fish Department. Right now, the mountain snowpack in Montana, which is going to come into Lake Sakakawea, is quite different than what it was last year. Right now, the drainages over there are probably in that 60 to 70% of normal. There's one or two that are maybe up in the 80 and 90%, but overall, the snow water equivalent is quite a bit less. So we won't be seeing the influx of water like we did last year, for sure. So on Lake Sakakawea this year, we're currently about 1835. It's probably going to hold that, throughout the summer and throughout the entire fishing season, and then slowly kind of peter out from there. If it keeps going that trend, if we have a dry summer and no moisture, it could be kind of critical next year. Missouri River system is totally dependent on what they release out of the Garrison Dam and what the river flows are coming past Bismarck here. This year they're looking at about 18 or 20,000 CFS, which is going to leave our Missouri River boat ramps. There's 13 of them from the dam down to Lake Oahe in pretty good shape all summer. I don't see much for problems there. And on Lake Oahe, that's probably of the three, that's probably the one that's going to be impacted the most. Right now it's at about 1604, but it's supposed to drop down about 10 feet by fall throughout the season. So right now we'll have good ramp access in the spring, but we're going to slowly lose that as the summer goes on and be down to just low water boat ramps come fall. Devil's Lake is at about 1449 right now, which is almost identical to what it was last year. I think we were all a little bit surprised that we didn't see a bigger rise last year after all the snow that we had out there. But a lot of that just soaked in because we didn't have a lot of frost before we got those first big snowstorms. We've got 10 boat ramps on Devil's Lake. One of those is unusable right now. The other 9 will be good, but a lot of those have only got 5 to 7 feet of water on the bottom end. So if these dry conditions continue, we could be running into some problems down the road. I don't see anything this year, but if it continues, maybe next year or the year after. We've got 430 active fishing waters out there right now and about 350 boat ramps. That's down about 20 from last year when we lost some due to winter kill because of the severe winter. Most of them are pretty full right now. We're down about a foot and a half from where we were last year when they filled up in the spring. We're looking at pretty good access, but right now the long season forecast for drought conditions in North Dakota, the Northeast is right now in a drought, and the rest of the state is considered abnormally dry. So we don't have that crystal ball. We don't really know what it's going to do going forward, but if the dry conditions and higher temperatures persist, we will definitely see some access problems at our district lakes. Unlike last winter when we had near record snowfall, this winter was just a complete opposite. We didn't have anything after that first snow and ice storm that we had in December. It was just a flip-flop of last year's. We're not expecting much for plains runoff, and so we don't see much of our district lakes coming up or improving much from where they're at right now. So right away in the spring, when the ice starts going out and the snow melts, our guys, the first things they do is they start moving docks, piers around the state. We spend the winter months building them over here at our shop facility. We have a partnership with the Wahpeton School of Science where they build a lot of the frames for us, and then we bid out and secure the other components such as the decking and the bumpers, and then our guys spend the winter months putting those together. Come spring, that's the first thing they do. They haul them things out. Everybody wants their dock or pier, so we get them out, get them installed for the first time, and then after that they're handed off to the local entity. One of the other things we do is we have a lot of ramps around the state that suffer from ice damage, whether it's a metal ramp or a concrete plank ramp. Those ramps are totally unusable at ice out, so that's another kind of a big goal of ours in the spring is to hit those damaged ramps and get them back up and running. We wouldn't be able to do what we do or provide what we provide for fishing opportunities and access facilities if we didn't have those partners out there. They can range from anything from a small wildlife club to a county park board to a city park board, lake association, water resource district, but they come in a variety of shapes and forms, but the bottom line is that they're a local entity that helps partner with us when we initially build the facility, but then more importantly is maintaining that facility after that. Putting the dock in, taking the dock out, keeping the area clean. And we just, the success of our program really relies heavily on those local partners. If you fish or boat, just about any facility that you use out there is something that we're active in. So it can be anything from the access road to the parking area to the toilets, the fish cleaning stations, the boat ramps, the docks, the security lights. And we've got about 3,500 different facilities on the landscape, and we're always building new ones. For boat ramps this year, we've got about a dozen projects and that are approved right now and ready to go. Those range from primitive boat ramps, which is basically just a simple gravel rock launch on the side of on a shoreline for anglers to launch. It's not the best, but it gets people in the water. Up to revamping old ramps that have been there for 20, 30 years, going in and tearing something out and redoing it. And then we've got, I think, 5 or 6 new ones that are at new sites, new locations where they've never had a boat ramp before. And then we've also got a few ramp extensions where we're going to be extending either the top end or the bottom end of an existing ramps. The new ramps are, we've got one up in the north at Mount Carmel Dam, which is in Cavalier County. Well, we've also got one going in at Hertzville-Tuffy, which is in Wells County, central North Dakota. And then in the southeast, we've got 3 of them. We've got one over at Middle Eccleston in Barnes County. We've got another one down in Clawson Springs, which is in Barnes County. And then we're currently working on securing an easement. If we get the easement, we're going to put one in at J. Nelson Lake, which is in Stutzman County, just south of Cleveland, Medina area there. We're kind of just teetering right at that elevation on a lot of our lakes and the big systems where, right now things are okay, and I suspect, I'm optimistic that we're going to make it through the 2024 season okay. But again, a lot of it's just going to depend on what Mother Nature gives us. I mean, if we get some moisture and rains, things will improve or be better. If we don't, it could be the beginning of a drought cycle and some tough times ahead.